Hey there, welcome to the Loose Lemire channel. Welcome to your reading. This is about third parties and the situation there with third party. It's essentially a third party themed reading, okay? These are the piles. This is going to be really intensive, actually. Probably should have charged my device before doing it. You pick the one that speaks to you, but where your third party story might be. This is a spread. It was a request, and it's something that I've been wanting to do anyway, so I'm glad that it was requested because a lot of sort of third-party themes show up. This particular third-party theme is going to be dealing with people. So this isn't third-party in terms of work. Third-party in terms of friends, you discern that. I'm going to be dealing with people, like a particular person romantically, or that has influenced romantically in some way. So it could be friends, it could be an ex-lover, it could be a present lover, or someone they have a crush on, or you have a crush on, because this is going to be either you are dealing with a third party. So you might be the one with the third party in addition to an extra love interest. So I have been working on this spread again for like quite some time, trying to crunch it down in a way that is appropriate for me and you. So you let me know for sure how this goes for you. I'd be very curious to know what it looks like. I'm quite proud of it. I think it should work. We'll see. The first one I do is probably going to be a little bit flubby, but it should be fun. So welcome to the third party themed reading. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split it into three. Each of these will have three separate piles also. So one pile will be for you, one pile will be for, the person of interest, and the third pile will be for the third party. So if you are the person with the third party, that's going to be your third party. If the person of interest is the one with the third party, this is still going to be the third party. Okay, so yeah, we're going to see how it goes and learn from our mistakes together. I'll see you in your pile. Are you air? Is your third party story in air? Is your third party story in water? Is your third party story in fire? Let's find out. Hey Air, how are you? So welcome to your third party themed reading. There's not enough space on the screen for me to do what I wanted to say. Okay, hold on. Much better. I can work with this. Okay. So, ideally this is you, right? This is the person of interest. You're them. And this is the third party. Whether they're your third party or their third party, this is where I'm going to be putting their energy. This is your them's person, like your person of interest energy, and this is likely your energy. If it ends up flipping where you believe you are the third and someone else is the one or two, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So the first question I'm asking here is where you're at in the situation, all of you, right? So where they're at with the person of interest. Yeah, let me just get the cards. Okay. So I'm going to ask where you're at. Where is number one at with this love situation? Where's number two at? Their person. Where's their person at with the love situation between them? Where's the third party at with this love connection? Okay, I'm already getting a few hits here. Wow, that's crazy. So, okay, with number one is the Two of Cups in reverse and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So this to me feels like dissatisfaction in love, in a connection. With the Two of Cups in reverse, it is still a Two of Cups. So there is still this feeling of connection, but it's either wavering. I want to say it's kind of maybe even wavering. It's wavering because with this Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's almost like this person has gotten used to how the circumstances have been in this situation and are somewhat getting over it. So that, yeah, I feel like, yeah. I wasn't expecting that to come out of my mouth. I feel like the number one is getting over how disconnected this relationship is, or finding a semblance of peace in it. Because of what this energy of Two of Cups in reverse and Five of Pentacles is giving me, it's almost like someone getting used to how the energies have been and how the vibe is. And they've been feeling left out in the connection, like crumbs energy, like a little bit of energy. So I feel like this is either someone who's getting over that energy, like they're settling into that energy. It's getting deeper. It's this vibe of someone who is used to what they've been getting. It used to hurt them, but they've sort of gotten an acceptance over this is what the situation is. And it sort of de-heartened the heart eyes in their eyes for the person, or at least for this situation. They're looking at it a lot more, okay, how am I going to take care of me then? If this is what the situation is, how am I going to take care of me? Or, how am I going to be with me? Because clearly, like, this connection isn't going to be able to provide me with what I'm needing because I'm out here feeling cold AF. How can I warm up? How can I warm myself up? The second person, number two, is experiencing something really, as a reader, I'm going to geek out a little bit to myself. There's two queens that came out here, and this is a third party reading. So likely this is a situation where number one is not the one with the third party. Number two is the one with the third party. That is active. And here we have, oh, they don't want to be like this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And we have both queens in the reverse as well. The Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. Now, this is very interesting energy. This is what I live for. I mean, I live for like air and water and like happiness and like money for myself and like goodness. Not money. I don't really live for money. I live for happiness and freedom. Money and I have a really contentious relationship. We're like this. We butt heads. But I love this kind of energy. I love when the message is just so clear and evolving. You don't care. Let's get to what this means. With the second person here, I want to go back to this because there was something that I was picking up with this Five of Pentacles accompaniment where this person is feeling, again, this sort of like, there was a sense of peace here. There's a sense of peace, a sense of acceptance, a sense of, there's something else I said in the beginning where they know, they can feel that the connection is disconnected, but they're sort of moving through it. But there's something here about a potential, like there's still a tension in this because the Two of Cups is still here. There's still something, like I'm getting crumbs. I'm not getting nothing. I'm getting like a crummy energy. I'm getting bits and pieces energy, like throwing stuff to the birds. Feed the birds, feed the birds. And it's almost like the food that the birds are receiving is enough because they're birds, not giants. I feel like the appetite that number one had was the appetite of a giant. But now they've sort of been starved so much, so, or they haven't received that energy that they wanted, that accepting crumbs is almost like not necessarily okay. Like, I don't want to say crumbs as a negative thing, because again, you give crumbs to a bird and they're absolutely happy. You give crumbs to a human being and that's not really going to satiate them. You give crumbs to a giant, like, what are we? I can't even see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the energy of sometimes what you give can be received if the hunger matches that. So I feel like the hunger is matching because the hunger has become less within number one. So there's almost like a really weird resurgence. Like, it's almost like it's coming back around, but I'm not sure if the attention or connection is coming back around or if it's that thing of where it's now, number one is now in this essence of like gratefulness and acceptance because what they're receiving is, at least I'm still receiving it, or I'm still like I'm good in a way, right? There's a sense of peace here. Moving on to number two. Three of Wands, Two of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in reverse. So both queens are in reverse. There's clearly some type of boopity 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 juggling with this Two of Pentacles, trying to do it all, trying to mingle here and mingle there. But with the Two of Pentacles falling, it feels like, I really want chips. Oh, I really want chips. I really want chips. I don't know, like some really good chips, you know? Does this person like chips? Does number two like chips? I don't even have a flavor of chips in my mouth. Like salt and vinegar, maybe, but like just chips, like snacking. Does number two like snacking? Oh, I feel like number two is in an energy of snacking, not fully committing to either, because these Queen of Cups are both in reverse. I feel like number two is feeling a disconnect between three and one. And they're really just waiting to see where the energy goes. They're waiting to see what they want for themselves. I think they've seen that both parties have somewhat pulled away from them and they have stopped juggling the two. They've sort of settled on either one person. Not sure. I feel like they do give more attention to the third party, more a connection to the third party, to the number three, than they do to number one. I feel like there's an energy of waiting to see how it goes with number one. But overall with number two, how how they see the situation, where they're at in it, is waiting to see what comes, waiting to see where nature goes, waiting to see what decision is going to be made, if a decision even has to be made, waiting to see what pops up, who says what, or whatever, because I feel like they've sort of given up control of the situation and want to see where it goes. I feel like when it comes to, this is bold, and I don't really want to say this because I think when I hear things like that, I don't know, I don't like saying things like this out of my mouth because it can give I feel like it can be more hurtful than helpful, but the messenger, right? I am seeing that I feel like they have more of an emotional tie to the number three in terms of being there for number three, maybe time with number three, maybe how much they've been leaned on by number three. There's that, emotional connection and bond that is like, oh, number three, I owe them something. I need to take care of number three, something like that. With number one, I feel like there's this energy of groundedness, and number one could be someone who they can see themselves with long term. But even number three, I think, is someone who they could see themselves with long term and could have experienced a certain emotional fulfillment with them. But there's something here about number one being in an energy for number two where they have felt more longevity with them. I feel like number three, their connection has been longer and it's been quite emotionally taxing. With number one, I feel like they see that there's a sense of realness here that is demanding, but it's like a baby is demanding. Like you can't half-ass a baby, you know? I mean, you can, people do it. They half-ass raising a child, but you know, you have to be awake, you have to be present, you have to be there. There's a lot of real work that needs to go into that, and they can see that that's what number one, something with number one would be, with that long-term sort of longevity of it. So they're just sort of like, ugh. And they're just gonna wait and see. Like they're in surrender mode, I'm feeling, to see what's coming around for them in the mail, whatever is coming around for them, and to see what they're really manifesting for themselves, because both these queens are in the reverse and the juggling has been put down. Very, very cool as a reader. But in real life, I mean, you know, that's the situation there. The third person here, what they're sort of, where they're at in this connection is they're thinking. I feel like they're thinking. I feel like they're taking their time. For some of them, I don't know if the third knows what's going on, but I feel like they can sense it and they've emotionally backed away. I feel like they might be able to sense it and are emotionally backing away. Some of them are doing their research, some of them are stalking or really doing their research to find more information. I was drinking water. But yeah, there's a lot of research here. They're snooping. I feel like they can feel that there's a pulling away of their person, and they themselves are sort of guarded towards number two, or just in this situation here. And they're researching, they're looking, they're really keen eye. There's no swords here. I'm so sorry if you heard that. What's here is the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace and the Eight of Cups. But I'm getting an energy of like intuitively feeling like something's up. They definitely are also feeling the pull away of number two, and they themselves are in turn sort of mirroring that and pulling away because they're like, something's up here, something is up here. So there's some sense of like research energy, there's a sense of being calm and trying not to rock the boat. Some of them in this situation may not even know. I feel like I still feel that. I feel like the third person here, number three, may not even know, but they can feel it, that something is off with the person that they're dealing with number two. Because maybe number two has been a little bit more disconnected, and there's a disconnect. They can sense the disconnect. Yeah, I'm not gonna dwell too much on number three. if you're number three, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I mean, number three is feeling the sense of disconnect and research. They might also just be minding their own business if they're completely disconnected. If this is someone who is from the past of number two, they could feel like something's up. I feel like they can feel that something's changed, but they're not necessarily going to say anything. Their demeanor is going to be like, I'm getting a lot of squinty eye. Like when I'm in number three's energy, my eyes are squinting, because it's like something's up, something's awry, something is, they may not know what it is, but they can see that number two is not giving them the energy that they used to give. Number two is more focused, and they're focused elsewhere, and they don't know what that is. Like number two is maybe like working too much. Number two is maybe trying to improve their skills. Maybe there's a lot more activity from number two in their own world. Like maybe they're doing certain things that are firing signals in number three going, So if this is someone that's actively in their world, as in their partner, then there's that. But if they're a distant partner that is sort of still in this energy, I guess that would be up to number two's vibe. But yeah, I feel like really there's a lot of disconnected energy in number three. Now what we're gonna do is feelings. We're gonna see how It's gonna be a long reading, you guys. Please like the video and comment because this is gonna take a lot of time. I need some validation that this was worth all of this. It's fun though. We're gonna do how they're feeling. So I'm gonna do how, for number one, it's like, how is number one feeling? Am I gonna do feelings? Because that's gonna be weird. I don't want to do feelings. Okay, I think we're gonna do like feelings and wants, like feeling slash wants. So what does number one feel slash want? What does number two feel slash want with number one and with number three? Okay, that's a lot. What does number three feel slash want? Yeah, I mean, number three is very cool. It's very interesting here because there's deep knowing. I don't feel like number three knows. I don't feel like number three really. I want to read this to you because this goes. That's why I didn't want to do feelings, because I feel like we just did feelings in that first reading. So I might not do feelings for anybody else. Shush, don't tell them. But I feel like that first reading covered up the situation and how they feel about it. I feel like number three, like, they have an inkling, but they don't know. So this is either someone that's disconnected from number two, so this is like an ex or someone far or a friend or I don't know, whatever, someone, a lover from who's connected to them, a baby mama, baby daddy, whatever, but then they don't know, but they can tell that something is weird, something has changed. They can feel it in their little fingers and toes because we have deep freaking knowing here. I want to read this to you so that you can hype me up. So you know that the energy here, like, someone's talking, aka spirit is talking here. You are in empathy overload and need to get grounded again, so tune out for a bit because they're doing all this research and like they're looking at stuff. Hypersensitive, you're suffering from psychic exhaustion. This signals a time for recharging your batteries. Yup. Set energetic boundaries, take a salt bath, empty your mind, and get back to you. It's not a time to be too open. Soon enough, you can let your guard down. Remember the squinty eyes? Right now, you need self-care, self-love. It's time to say no thank you to anyone in your life who exhausts you. Won't that feel good? Right? Like, they're feeling that. They're feeling that. So this is someone who's actively in their life. Like, they're partners. They're seeing each other, whatever. This person knows something's up, but I don't feel like they know exactly what's up. They may have a hunch, but they don't know exactly what's up. Your existence may not be completely known, but yeah, come through. Okay, so yeah, I mean, number two, when it comes to how they feel about the third party, there is definitely a connection with number three, with number two. They want to take action towards number three, and that action is usually a consulting action. So I feel like number three has been there for number two in their trying times. In some ways, like number two has maybe even a feeling of setting number three go, but it's hard to because it's scary to do that. Wow, that's new. That's very new. But I can see it, that's for sure. Yeah. I feel like I feel like number two has tried towards number three, but it's out of like honor or out of what used to be, out of sense, out of the passion they used to have for them, out of what number three has done for them, out of the connection they have, how they've related, how they've been there for each other, or how number two, there's something about they've been there for each other. And I feel like the feelings are still kind of there, but I've with milk and honey in reverse, because milk and honey in reverse talks about, to me, it's like alcohol, or like substance abuse. And maybe they still maybe need number three if number three is still active in their life, as in they're together. If number three is a faraway person, someone like an ex, then they still sort of need, their connection to number three is still that of affecting them. There's an energy here for number two towards number three as an essence where something, the actions of number two affecting number three. Sometimes it's affecting them positively, sometimes it's affecting them negatively, or sometimes it's just the fact that things could rumble. So number two might want to affect number three negatively, and that's like a joy. But there's also something here about honoring what they had with number three. So I think it really depends what the dynamic is between them and what has happened between them. But there's definitely like an action towards number three that is curious. That is a means to like escape. It's not real. It's not lasting. It's momentary. So if number two is actively involved with number three, when they're together, number two really like tries and, you know, brings the passion and brings the heat, but it fizzles out really quickly because they're trying so hard. Like it's not natural. Yeah, they're so exhausted by the end of it. How number two could be feeling for number one is kind of avoidant. Time for a nap and deep knowing to me are really related in terms of like, stop. So here's something interesting. We have 41, and this is in time for a nap is 24, but in reverse it looks like a 42. So we have like a sequence energy here, and funny enough, there's 43 right there. Oh boy. So what I'm getting from this is, with the connection that they feel with you, with the soulmate connection that they feel with number one, there's also this like too much going on for number two. They feel overwhelmed as well in their own way. They think, they feel like it's all on them, which is probably why they're just trying to like put all the chips down and sit down and see what happens, because they've gone as far as they can sort of emotionally, because I don't feel like they really know what to do. It sort of seems difficult to maintain both, at least in their feeling state. How can I feel both about so much for so many people? Like there's too much going on in their head and their ego, and I feel like maybe it's their integrity or their way of being. They might be thrusting themselves into work, but they also might want to make things right, but don't quite know what right is in this situation. So they feel exhausted with this connection, with number one. They feel exhausted with the connection with number one. They do feel that there is this connection there with the soulmates card, a really good partnership. And if anything, they might want to rest in that partnership, but because they're still sort of entangled in some other stuff, it's difficult for them to want to rest and put their head on number one's lap and just sort of be at peace. So they're feeling exhausted about how they feel in the connection with number one. Number one, how number one is feeling is inexperienced. So number one might know about number three. And this is a very odd situation for number one to be in. They might be feeling quite confused. They might be feeling that this isn't a situation that they would have thought they would ever be in, or ideally would want to be in, or any of that stuff. It's a strange one, Mr. Grinch. you know? It's foreign, it's new, it feels unnerving, it feels unsettling, and not really knowing what to do, but there is an excitement there still. There's still an excitement in the confusion. There's still sparkles and electrical fires that they feel in this connection. So, there it is. The last thing I'm going to be looking into is what's next, right? For number one, I'm going to look into what number one's guidance is. And that's what it might be if you do relate to other piles. If you're number three or number two, if that's where you relate, that card is going to be what the guidance is. But it's also going to be what's next, like what's going to happen next. Okay. Okay, so the guidance for number one is the Three of Swords in reverse. So this is healing. This is healing, and this is something that I feel like is moving through. There is some heartbreak. There's moving in the situation. What's next for number three is, and for number one is a sense of healing, and that is your guidance. Can you tell me a bit more about this, please? Nine of Wands in reverse, putting the fight down and relaxing. This is not not necessarily standing your ground anymore, because it's a Seven of Wands. I mean, Nine of Wands and Seven of Wands are really confusing, but it's this wounded warrior, and I feel like it's healing. It's tending to your own wounds, tending to your space. Essentially, with that Five of Pentacles in reverse, it's warming yourself up. It's warming yourself back up and replenishing your own energy. And that's what number one is also going to be doing next. Number two is the Seven of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. So this is, to me, exploring their options, thinking up what they want to do, and imagining the different paths they could take and the different things that, the different ways that life could happen, and doing that within themselves, for themselves, to see what they want to do. Now, what I will say is the Seven of Cups is looking this side. This is dreams. This is options. This is looking at the different things that could happen, the different option scenarios. And this is the Five of Pentacles is facing that side, and she's sort of walking away from that energy over there, going towards that direction. And these little gnomies here are pointing in this direction. So what could be next is number two coming towards number one, and viewing that as the option chosen. With number three, what's next with them? We have a major arcana, Judgment. Number three really has to see what they need to give up in order to move forward in their life. And we have the Queen of Pentacles here, their happiness. I feel like number three is, what's next for number three is, I think, really good energy, actually. Number three might be entering into a space where they want happiness. They want to give up what they need to give up in order to be happy. They may have to let go of certain things in order to be happy. They may have to be reborn. They may have to figure out what they need to offer up in order for themselves to be happy. Let's clarify that. The Hangman in reverse. So they're still going to be thinking. I mean, we do have Judgment. That's a major arcana. So that to me means time. But they're going to be thinking about what it is that makes them happy and looking at things a different perspective. I feel like for number three, they might be considering marriage. I don't know if this is a marriage situation, but I feel like they might be considering what marriage means, what it means to them, and they might be contemplating getting married again for a story that makes sense, and just kind of figuring out how they would want it to be this time and looking at marriage with a different perspective, if this is like their second marriage or their second sort of deep relationship outside. That feels like energy for a third party that is separated from the second party, but obviously is still in the second party's energy. I feel like that third party here, though they can feel, or because they can feel something is going on with this second party, they're sort of inspired to be like, okay, like I need to let go of what happened with number two and make my life what I want it to be. Am I willing to let go of what happened with number two so that I can be happy, so that I can have the type of relationship that I want? So that's something that's coming up there for number three. They want the type of relationship that they want, where they're happy, where they're feeling honored, where they're feeling good, and it's going to take them giving something up, and they really have to think about that. Okay, so you let me know how you enjoyed that reading. I will see you next time. I'm doing love readings every day, by the way. And this energy was really interesting here because it was fun to explore sort of three different personalities and vibes. This was really, really fun. It didn't go as badly as I thought it would because, bro, things have gone quite badly. I wanted to share something with you before you leave. Please hang tight. It's something that I'm really nervous about, so, but the Loose Lumiere channel has been working with Like You Enterprises to produce some stuff for you guys because it's important, and these are the stuff that I've been working on with them. They're journals, and they come in 4 different colors: yellow, black, white, and red, and this is what they look like on the inside, just so you know. This is where you would put your prompt in, and this is where you would write. So something like this reading, you would want to look at I don't know, third party or whatever, like what the energy means to you and your reflections on it. I think it would be really good to keep track of certain energies, especially prediction-y type stuff or guidance, to see and be more mindful about how you move in this world, especially when it resonates. I know when you're on a pick a card binge, you're not really looking to do all that, but if you are someone who's serious about your personal growth, I would either still recommend journaling in that way or journaling each book with a purpose. Please be on the lookout for more information when I release the books officially, the journals officially. I look forward to your support, and if you do get one for yourself or many for yourself, please, please, please leave a review so that it can be boosted in the Amazon algorithm. I appreciate you. Keep your light on, and good luck. Hey Fire, welcome to your reading. So this is how we're setting it up. This is going to be largely your energy, okay, with this number 1 here. It's going to be like your focus. This is going to be your person's energy, your them or person of interest. This is going to be theirs. This is going to be the third party. Now, this could be your third party, or this could be their third party. An ex who's still in their energy, who's still sort of there considered. This could be a person who's actively in their energy. I don't know your situation. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I did work really hard, and I want you to know that at the setup and the format of it. So I'm really proud of it. It was fun. This was really fun. So we're going to get into it with the first question of where each of you are at in this tryst. I'm gonna drink some water. Okay. Where's number 1 at with this situation? In this romantic situation? Where's number 2 at? Their person. If you happen to identify with any of the other piles, that would be very interesting. Where's number 3 at? So just please let me know in the comments. I'd like to know how that worked out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this has been really fun because as the energies are coming out, I'm getting all these hits, right? You're like out of frame. All right. Where you're at with this situation is in major energies. You have the Magician showing up in the upright and the Fool showing up in the reverse. So very interesting sequential energy, 0 and a 1. You are looking to manifest this. You've been doing all sorts of manifestation-ish, okay, to bring the situation to fruition or to bring the situation to a point that you would feel happy with, you would feel satisfaction with, right? You're bringing this to a point that you want. Now, with this Fool in reverse, it's almost like you've been here before, but want to try it differently. And you're not trying to do the same things that you've done before, right? You're not trying to do things that you did before, but I feel like there's a sense of like reckless abandon here because I feel like you're actually thinking of doing something reckless too when it comes to this connection. It's almost like you're embracing this situation. Actually, you're embracing this third party ship and feel like you are the right choice, like you are the one that should be picked. Like there's a lot of bravado, or not a lot of bravado, but there's like a sense of like indignant energy. So like you're not listening to the world about this third party, you're not listening to friends or whatever, like you're really listening to your desires about this third party situation. You're listening to what it is that you want and trying to manifest that. Your number 2 here, your potential possible person, has the 10 of Swords and the 5 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, that needs that. I want to say there's a sense of shock here, but with the 10 of, now the thing is, in this deck, the 10 of Swords is a triumphant energy, right? Someone is free. They've been reborn like the phoenix. And the little spirits in the background are celebrating their rebirth. So I feel like this person, how they feel about this situation is they've thought a lot about it. And, oh, there you go. Thank you. High five. They've thought a lot about this situation and they're done fighting. They're done fighting it. They know what it is. They're done fighting it. It is what it is. Maybe that's why number 1 has a sense of like smugness to it. Number 2 knows what it is. They can't fight this energy anymore. They've thought it to death, and after death, they've just sort of been like, okay, this is how I feel. Like this is a thing that exists now. Oh my god, I'm so sorry if you heard that. When I talk so much, I get burpy. Number 3, yeah, this energy was coming up when I saw the 4 of Swords, but I wanted to get something extra. Number 3, the third person, is slowly waking up to something going on. The third party is slowly becoming aware that something is going on, and it could be because of number 1's manifesting stuff. That's like whispering in people's ears or something. Number 1, what is you doing? You playing with fire for real. You playing with fire. Because the fire is here. Wow. There is this energy with number 3 that with the Four of Swords alone, they feel like they're waking up to something going on. With the Tower in reverse, they are picking, they're getting something. Something is in, I like to call it, I like to say to myself, I've never said this out loud to anybody before, but I feel like I have a mosquito that lives in my head that just goes, it sings its little mosquito song, but I don't speak the language of mosquito, and I don't know what it's saying, but I know that it's trying to tell me something. It's trying to tell me that something's up. And this person has a mosquito in their head going, and it may be just a matter of time before they find out with this tower, because this person gets a whole ass phone call, right? They get some information given to them, and they end up breaking their cup of coffee in their blue kitchen. So, yeah, that's where the situation is right now. Now we're gonna go look into some feelings, how people are sort of feeling. I'm gonna look at how you're feeling, number one, and I'm gonna look at how number two is feeling about you and them, because I'm picking up that this is a third party where they have the third party, not you having the third party. If this is you having the third party, for this section, if that first one if this resonated with you, look at how this pile plays with those, and then we can go back to this for the last sort of run through. Okay, I hope that helps. How is number one feeling about this connection? How's number two? Okay. And how's number two? Okay. How's number three? Okay. Number one, you doing some crazy shit. I'm gonna stand by that. Number one, you're doing some burning of candles. You're doing some scripting. You're doing some whisper magic stuff. You're doing some stuff, bro. Fight me. A leg up here is how. Okay, you. You magical number fire. Number one, I'm gonna stick with the story. If this ain't it, this ain't it. But you really are doing some foolish things. Number one, I say that with like girlfriend love, right? You're out here doing some foolish, crazy, fool magician stuff. You're really out here doing some pee whipping. I feel like number one is really feeling. This is telling you what you're doing. You feel like helping number two. You feel like helping number two and encouraging number two. You want to give number two a leg up in this situation. And this could be by you doing certain things that I'm not going to mention. I kind of already did. Wink, wink. Game, recognized game. That you're doing in your own space to influence, potentially, number two. And their choice towards you. And their choice away from that, number three. Okay? I feel like you feel like helping them. That's how you feel. You feel like helping them along this path. If you're not doing all that other stuff, okay, sure. I think there's still some manipulation there with, oh, let me help you through this situation. We're in this together. Let me help you through this. And it's like undercurrent of you helping them through this is for them to see that, oh, wow, number one is really amazing. Like, how can number one, be so there for me? You know what I mean? Like that whole thing of like, I'm going to be there for you. It doesn't, you can still do what you need to do. I understand. But it's like, there's like a low key underlying energy of, yeah, but you're going to choose me because of this. You know what I mean? I digress. Number one. Ow, you out here. Ow. Is this where all the dislikes are going to come from for the video? I don't know. Who picked fire? Come through. come through. But again, I mean, yeah. So number two, how number two is feeling about number one is wanting to do things by the book. So I feel like if number two is entangled with number three in a real relationship, they won't want to engage number one too deeply without this ending first. No wonder this person is all messed up. Without this ending first and then pursuing this in an orderly way. Like, they're pretty traditional. I don't feel like they would want to okay, they don't feel that they would want to have both at the same time, but I still feel like they'll dip their pen in that ink still. I don't mean sexually, I just mean, look, I don't know, but I just mean like they'll still play, I feel like this person in their minds will still be like, no, but I'm still with number three, so I won't give number one all the perks of like being together, but they'll still, I'm picking up this energy of someone who still sort of does those things because in those moments their brain or whatever part that's connected to this isn't always functioning. But in their mind they're still like, I'm gonna do things by the book, like I'm gonna do things normally, like I'm gonna be cordial and the like. But yeah, with number three, they're feeling kind of like annoyed and disappointed that something that they thought was good is not who they're going to end up with. Like, that's really annoying. I don't want to say end up with, well, I guess so, because I mean, they're going towards this, like the elephants are going this way. And these two polar bears, right, they're facing in this direction. So this is like, when I looked at this, I was like, baby, won't you come my way? Like, this is this polar bear being talking to these elephants and being like, baby, won't you come my way? So maybe even number one is maybe being a little bit cold to number two, to push number two into action. Game. So yeah, with serendipity in reverse, there's a sense of there's a feeling of heartbreak here, a sense of unfortunately misfortune. God, English. A sense of unfortunacy when it comes to feeling for number three, because it's like, dang, like this was gonna be something that did feel good, that was going okay, but it didn't work out somehow. Like, it's not working out the way I thought it would. Like, that really sucks. There's that feeling of that there. My nails are actually pink, but in this filter they look red. So weird. Oh, number three. Number three is choosing not to choose. That's how they feel. But I feel like they can't choose because they don't fully know. Okay? They have an inkling. They have a whisper in their ear. I'm looking at you, number one. No, but there's a whisper in their ear. There's a something in the mists, but they can't quite grab it. That mosquito is hard to catch. And so they can't quite make a choice. They don't quite know how to feel because I don't feel like they know what path to really take because there's not enough information for them to know. The next spread we're gonna do, the next sort of thing we're gonna do is what's next. So for number one, what I'm gonna pull is guidance, what your guidance is, and for these two, I'm gonna pull what's next, what they're gonna do next, or what's next for them. If you resonate with any of the others, then that piece of what's next is going to be your guidance. Okay. Hey, Spirit Team. You guys have been here. Very, very clutch. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. What's next for what's number one's guidance, please, in this situation? Holy shit. Okay, what's next for number two? What's next for number 3? Thank you for being so clear, for being so very clear. Yeah. Jeez. I'm going to start with number 3. Number 3, what's next for them is looking out for themselves and not fighting for something anymore. They're just going to try and be happy. It could be singledom for them, number 3. It could be choosing single life. I don't know what their relationship is to number 2, if they're an ex and they're still in this energy with number 2 and they have kids together, or if they're in a relationship together, but it feels like number 3 could choose the single life. Number 3 could choose not to fight for this. Number 3 could choose to fight for themselves. Number 3 could choose to go a different way, go their own way. Number 2, their page energy, and its page is reversed. We have the Page of Swords in reverse and the Page of Cups in reverse. So number 2, what's next for them is really a lot of dealing and thinking and feeling. There's insecurities here. I feel like this is tragic, because you don't go into there's very few people that go into a relationship thinking, I'm going to have an affair, or I'm going to fall for someone else. Usually when people enter into a relationship, it's pretty straightforward in some ways. If this doesn't work out, we'll just end it. If it does, we continue. Done. But you never realize that it can be difficult to let go of someone. It can be difficult to continue working on something with someone. It can be difficult to be with someone when your heart is being pulled elsewhere. It can be really jarring experience to have your heart all of a sudden be beating in the direction of someone that isn't the person that you're with. And what do you do with that? Do you throw away what you've worked on with this person and you try something new and you go somewhere new? Like what is the value of that? So I feel like number 2 is really is feeling lost and trying to really look at themselves and how they wound up in this situation. They really are trying to look at themselves and see, like, wow, me? What? I do feel like they do have a special place for number 3, but it might be difficult for them to let them go, even if that might be something that they want to do. I feel like they really are thinking about whether and how to let go of number 3. This is what I'm getting here. How to move past this energy with number 3 and their insecurities over how they're feeling and their insecurities over what a future could look like just without number 3. And really thinking about that, but also not being able to let go of number 1 either. Having these sort of confusing feelings for number 1 and the like. Because I feel like they're finding themselves doing things that they never thought they would do. Being untruthful, lying, being overly sensitive and overly emotional, maybe highly reactive in some ways. But I do feel that they don't know who they are and they want to sort of figure that out. Number 1, you have the 4 of Swords in reverse, the Fool. That's why I laughed. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the little conversation. It's like telephone, where someone whispers in your ear and then you have to whisper in someone else's ear what you heard. So Spirit is like whispering in my ear and I'm like, oh, what? And now I have to tell you, like, I'm not laughing at you ever, unless I say I am. These are 2 majors here for what's next. We have Death and the Fool. Talk about rebirth, talk about transformation, talk about the feeling of the situation in the upright. So there's something here about being wiser, taking chances. With the 4 of Swords in reverse, that is wild. what I'm seeing here is someone going their own way. Like your guidance being to go your own way, to die to this situation and go your own way. Let me feel into this more. There's something here that I want to pick up. So I feel like if you've been doing things to manifest this relationship and you've really been pushing for that manifestation, you know, doing a lot of things towards bringing number two towards you, I feel like that's what you need to die to, and trust that the universe will provide what it needs to provide. Like you sort of need to chill on that. Yeah, that's really what I'm getting. Like going your own way, excuse me, and trusting the universe to bring you what's yours. I know nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that, especially when you've been doing things and you see that those things are working, but there's this death here. And I feel like there's something about this connection and making it have to happen that you need to let go of and trust that the universe will bring you what's yours. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Trust that the universe will bring you what's yours and like relax your mind. Calm down a lot more. Take some rest if you need to. Or at least put your attentions elsewhere on something else. Yeah, I feel like trust a bit more. I feel like you could back down from doing so much towards this connection. Yeah, you could back down from doing so much towards this connection. I think it'll do you some good. Okay. Final thoughts here. Very interesting. It doesn't seem like number two is going to be making any sort of moves. I feel like they are just trying to understand, like not anytime soon anyway. I feel like the energy they're in is trying to understand, trying to digest, trying to figure things out and how they got they got to where they are and how things got to where they are and what to do with either party. Now, I want to share something with you, Fire, before you go. Please give me like 2 more minutes. There's something I've been really scared to share on the channel, and I'm forcing myself to share it because such is life. I worked with a company to create some journals, and here they are. They're called the Me Journal, my entry to me. They are available on Amazon, and I just haven't released the link yet because you won't be able to find them. When I do release the link, and if you do want to purchase, please do leave a review when you do and let me know. This is what they look like on the inside. It's dot grid. There's a prompt box here where you put in what you are writing on and you can continue writing. I really love this. I'm going to have a video like explaining it more and some examples, but I love this. This was a work of love, a labor of love. I love the length of it because I don't feel like it's intimidating to those that do actually journal or those that want to start journaling. It's a non-intimidating length. It feels good, and it also actually like feels really good. But I like the paper cover. It does come in 4 different colors, so each color could be anything you want. If you are doing some manifesting stuff and scripting towards this relationship, I would recommend the red one or the black one or the white one to add some light to what you're doing. to make it feel lighter energy. So in any case, I wish you everything fire. This is really fun. Let me know how this resonated for you. If it did, if you disliked it, that's fine. It is what it is. If you do comment, thank you, because what the fuck? Thank you so much for listening to the last spiel. I wish you everything. Keep your light on, and good luck. Hey, Water. How are you, Water? So, welcome to your third party situation reading. Sorry if you heard all that gulping. A girl is thirsty. So, let me explain what we're looking at here. This is largely going to be your energy. Number one is going to be here. Number two, this is going to be your person of interest, your them, the person that you're dealing with romantically. This is their energy. Number three is going to be the third party. Now, the third party could be your third party, could be their third party. I don't know. We're going to see what that looks like, but this is going to be their energy. Okay. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first question that I'm asking is, where you're all at in this, in regards to like the connection that you have. So where are you at with this love connection? Yeah. Where's number one at with this love connection? Okay. Where's number... Okay, that's a lot of cards. We will take them. That's very strange. Okay. That's very strange. They don't like it. Cool. This is a lot of cards. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I don't have enough space for like all of this tea. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Number one, where you at in this, this love situation? You have the Six of Swords in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse, and the Seven of Swords. Okay. You want greener pastures. You might be staying in a situation that, you might be feeling like you're staying in a situation that could be escaped, that you could leave, but for some reason, there's a part of you that's holding you to it. Like, you could leave and you might want to leave, but there's a part of you that feels still, I think, connected to this. Perhaps in an intuitive level, or perhaps in a pattern level. Well, the Seven of Swords here, I feel like you do know that. I feel like you do know that you want greener pastures, you want better for yourself, but it's hard. It's difficult. And so you look for ways to either make this situation better, or you look for ways on how to leave it. But you're sort of stuck in this loop of not really leaving it fully, or not having this energy completely leave you. And also a part of you not wanting to really leave it, and a part of you wanting to leave this connection, a part of you wanting to leave. But if someone was to come up to you with a solution to this love situation that would go in the favor that you want, you would still listen, right? So there's a sort of a greater part of you that I feel like would want to stay than go. But it's like, at this point, it's like you're staying, but begrudgingly. Or you're in this energy, but sort of begrudgingly. With the number 2, we have the, did I tell you what we had? We have the 6 of Swords in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse, and the 7 of Swords. Okay. With the second person, we have the 7 of Wands, we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the 3 of Swords, and we have the World in reverse, and the 4 of Pentacles. Number 2 wants their cake and eat it too. Wants to have their cake and to eat it too. They have unfinished business that they don't know how to finish, and maybe even don't want to finish. So there's sort of this sort of mirrored energy here. That they don't want to finish. They want to hold on to everything. They want to have their cake and eat it too. In fact, cake would be really nice right now. Something sweet would be really tasty. They want things to stay the same. I feel like they want to this is very new energy. They want to fight for their home. They want to fight for their home. They want to fight for their generation. They want to fight for what they've worked hard for. But they also see this sort of escaped opportunity and feel like it's not completely finished. I feel like number 2 does want to leave a situation as well, but they also don't want to at the same time because there's still lots of feelings there. There's still a lot of thoughts there. So they sort of not play the field, but they have both feet in different things. They have both feet in different paddles. But it seems like I feel like they want both. They want to fight for one and keep the other. They want to fight for both. But it's also heartbreaking because perhaps someone has either found out or turned away from them. And they don't quite know what to let go, if they even have to let go of something. Number 3, where they're at with the connection is I feel like they know. There's heartbreak here. I mean, the 3 of Swords is here, but you see these 3s here with the 2 of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse. Like, there's a heartbreak there. I feel like they know about the existence of this love situation and they don't like it. I feel like they've had maybe arguments or words over it, maybe sent messages. This is very interesting energy. I would love to know how this resonates for you, Water. Like, I would really, really like to know how this resonates for you. Like, if number 3 does know, if you are number 3, do you know? Like, are you the third party and there's a number 1 here who is spying and snooping and doing all these things? Like, have you heard from some strange person? Like, I would be very curious to know what this situation was. But yeah, I feel like number 3 is feeling the effects of this love and how it's disrupted their connection to number 2, whatever that connection was, and how there's some unrequited feelings there for what it's worth. This Knight of Swords energy is giving me someone that may still want to fight, I feel, may still want to make their stance known, I feel like I'm getting someone who still wants to fight. And this could be someone who wants to fight, like really get into it over text, over words, over, just a lot of communication, and knows how to manipulate the conversation, but knows what to say in order to get what they want, because maybe there has been a sense of longevity or whatever with this connection. But I feel like, yeah, they they want to rush in and quite possibly disrupt and take what's theirs, right? So the next energy I'm going to be looking at is the feelings, how each of you feel in regards to all of this stuff. How's number one feeling about this? How's number two feeling? Yeah, in terms of how number three is feeling, I feel like they know. I feel like they do know. If they don't, I don't know, they have a huge inkling. I feel like they know something is definitely up. That the fates in reverse, I feel like they feel that this is bad news, obviously, that this is something that wasn't supposed to happen, that this was never supposed to happen, that this is against the rules or against the format of what they had in their own personal connection, and this is something that they feel isn't right. Right? It's not going the way they wanted it to go or the way that it was supposed to go. This wasn't in the plan. Number two is feeling very lost. They're feeling very woe is me, very confused. How they feel towards you, towards number one, is just kind of disengaged and watching. They're having this energy of losing options, nowhere to go, not knowing what to do, feeling stuck, not knowing how to move, like just not being aware of any other options or awareness of what to do or how to feel. Like they feel like they have no options. They feel kind of stuck. When it comes to how they feel about number three, specifically, there's this sadness and sorrow where with Treasured Island, it talks about the same thing, the sort of poverty consciousness in this story. So I don't feel like they feel really good about themselves when it comes to number three. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel like they feel happy with what this love connection has, how it's affected their thing with number three. I think they've also maybe felt like they're not good enough for number three. So perhaps they've done something that made them feel that way. But they also feel like they're maybe a victim of circumstance, which wouldn't be untrue. But they might also be avoiding success. They do feel quite a lot towards this connection with number three, if this is them. If, by the way, you are the person in the third party, this part would be you. You would be number two for this section, where this is how you feel about number one and this is how you feel about number three, whomever they are. But there is some heaviness to how they feel in regards to this connection and how it affects their relationship with number three. They feel limited. They don't know what risks to take, what to do. There is a sense of failed expectation here, whether it's from themselves, their actions, their feelings, or just from the relationship or lack thereof, or whatever their connection was with number three. But overall, they're feeling quite low with Never Ending Story here, feeling like, oh, why does this happen to me? I don't know what that's about in this situation here, in this scenario, where they're making it about them and they don't quite know how to navigate this space. I'm going to read this for you from the book because I think this is really interesting. It says, sometimes your heart enters into a contract with another that results in pain, not because of abuse or neglect, but for other more complex reasons. Shame, fear of intimacy, and low self-esteem are the greatest challenges to the success of a relationship. Consider how valuable this knowledge is. However, right now you have the opportunity for important healing, but you must reflect on the stories you weave about love, connection, abandonment, rejection, and loneliness. Not only do you need to begin a new story, you need to forgive yourself for telling the old ones. Have compassion for the part of you that believes all those narratives, none of them were ever true anyway. That last part, I should have probably just stopped reading. Shame, fear of intimacy, low self-esteem, entering into contract with others that result in pain. And I feel like they're focusing, I feel like here's what I'm getting, right? It feels like number 3 knows something's wrong. Number 3 knows something's up. And number 2 and number 3, number 2 is probably ignoring or shunting number 1, not really doing too much about them, not really knowing what their options are with number 1, haven't even got to dealing with number 1 fully, because they're currently feeling like they're dealing with number 3. Just because of the facing. They're currently dealing with number 3 and how to navigate this space where number 3 says, no, it's me, it's us, it's been us, something around that area. We are endgame, we're OTP, one true pairing. You won't ever be happy with anybody else, and maybe this is how they felt or feel even with number 2, sort of believing that story. So there's a lot of feelings here with this. Number 1, how you're feeling is you want to come together with someone that you feel you belong to, someone that belongs to you. Now, whether or not if you heard that was my neck. I feel like number 1, you're just in a sense where you want to belong. Okay? I'm gonna drink. You want what's yours. Period. I'm gonna read this to you too. I feel like that would be really insightful to how you're feeling. You're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another, and perhaps also those you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another, accepting the truth that everyone has flaws as part of that dance. Yet, you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be. So I feel like, really outside of that didn't have what I thought it would have. If it had something for you, I'm glad. But how I feel for you right now is, for me, this energy is a sense of wanting to belong, a sense of wanting that really deep soul connection. And it could be wanting that deep soul connection back from this person, or just having it, period. Being in a space of wanting to have that, and that being the overarching feeling, whether or not it's with this person or the next. There's this feeling of I just want to feel great with someone who also feels great with me, and they're also mine, and they're also like my person. And I feel you on that. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is what's next? What's next in this dynamic? What's next in this connection? For you, if you are number 1, I'm gonna pull your guidance. If you are not number 1, if you are number 2 or 3, the card that comes out, the message that comes out is going to be your guidance. But otherwise, it's going to be what's next for them, okay? sort of like what they plan to do next or what's next in their energy. So what is the guidance for number 1, please? Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking the video. What's the guidance for number 2? I mean, what's next for number 2? Jeez. What's next for number 3? All the cards keep falling on top of you, number 1. What's up with that? Wow. Okay. I feel like Alright. What's next for you, number 1? The cards that came out were the Tower in reverse and the Knight of Cups. I feel like you okay. Like, alright. Avoiding, denying, avoiding a disaster, avoiding something that might happen, escaping into fantasy. Those are the rote meanings of this. That gives me an element of someone who is going to keep not pushing or fighting, but someone's going to stay in a situation that they know they may not, to delay an inevitability, a breaking of it, something that's not stable. And they're going to do that by sort of entering into a dream state of, oh, what it would be like, or entering into this sort of like dwelling in the possibilities of it coming to fruition. So if that's something that you relate with, you sort of entering into a state of, not deniability, but entering into this state of, bear with me, water, hold on, of avoiding something that you don't want to happen, so an ending, or just, whatever, by escaping into the dream world, right? Escaping into fantasy, rereading old messages, looking at how things used to be, and sort of being warmed up by that and thinking, oh man, actually that'd be really nice if we could just get back to that. What I'm picking up for you here, anyway, in terms of guidance, because this is a guidance, right, is, that's why I said hold on now, I just have to say certain things that come out, see who that's for, let it ride. And what I'm seeing here for you, number 1, wow, I'm done. I'm so done. Is you're being guided to avoid a situation that doesn't have to happen, and you're being asked to avoid it through imagining a better scenario for yourself. And that scenario probably shouldn't be with any particular person. I am going to come out with a video soon that is going to be catering to dwelling in the possibilities and attracting the kind of love that you do want for yourself, something that's really grounded in reality but also plays in the dream world. In fact, it's going to be involving this thing that I've been keeping to myself and not sharing with the channel, but I was working with a company and we have created some books, some journals. They come in, I'm going to get back to your reading. I just figured because this video that I'm going to release is journaling. It's about journaling, and I'm going to show you a very specific example about how like getting into my damn like coaching vault on how to manifest stuff that you actually want and the kind of love that you want. And that's going to be using these, so I might as well show you now. I was going to save them till the end, so just hang tight, give me 1 minute. These are the journals that I've been working on. They come in different colors. They come in the loose Lumiere colors as well as a white and a black. This is what they look like on the inside. There's a box to write your prompt in, and you write all your thoughts here. It's dot grid, which I love and adore because you can draw whatever you want or do tables. And I love the length of them. Like, they're not intimidating journals. They're not like fatties, which make you feel like, oh man, I gotta, They're nice and comfortable, and they feel really good. And they're great for solo intentions. So if you bought the red one, you could put your love desires in this. If you bought the red one, you could put your rage and anger in that and maybe burn it at the end, or keep it as a keepsake to see what you were angry about in the past, whatever you want to do. But I'm gonna be releasing a video in the red one, I think, or whatever, specifically about how to attract love. There might be some scripting involved, but there's going to be some prompts for sure that you can absolutely use these journals for. Very specific. But this is what they look like, okay? They're not yet premiered officially on the channel. As of, like, this isn't me premiering them. I'm just doing a soft open, a soft launch. But they will soon be available, and I feel like that'll be something that'll help this energy and help you manifest something that you really want. Because I feel like with this tower, avoiding a certain situation will avoid any like more backlash onto you that's not really necessary. Okay? It's also avoiding someone charming who's there only for a night. Okay, so if someone comes to you, if someone comes up to you, maybe number 2 or whomever, and you know it's just for passion and, emotional something, take it, embrace it, love it, make you feel good, but look at it with some caution, okay? Because I don't think it's the thing that you think it is. There could also be something here, but expressing yourself, but like doing it in a way that isn't crazy. Number 2, what's next for them is, I feel like we have the 6 of Swords, okay? We have the Hanged Man, and we have the 7 of Wands in reverse. I feel like number 2 wants to avoid disaster. Number 2 wants to avoid disaster, and I feel like they're going to run towards their own well-being. For some of them, they might seek therapy. They might seek like maybe even couples counseling. For some reason, I'm getting like these two are really like together. If number 3 is like a distant ex and they're just still in this person's energy, I don't know what to tell you about that. Like, I'll keep this as general as possible, but I feel like the majority energies, these two are involved, like even maybe living together or something like that. But I will try and zoom out and give a more just broader energy so that things can fall where they need to. Number 2, I feel like, is trying to avoid disaster. They're trying to leave a situation and enter into something else. I feel like this person might either seek counseling, they might seek couples counseling, which is interesting. I didn't get that before. But they might sort of feel overly defensive or like overly protective of themselves. So this is sort of like a bit of a guilty conscious thing coming up. I feel like they might ice, they might just keep to themselves and run away from all this energy that's going on, I'm getting a sense that they might run towards number 3 in a sense, but I think the greater sense I'm getting is that they will run towards something that is them-centered. So it depends on what that means. If, say, number 3, say say 3 says, we have to work on this, they might run towards that. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing them sort of leaving the situation with you and going towards this direction. It's just what's in that direction is them sort of surrendering to the situation, or surrendering the situation, and and the experience. So this could even be maybe even opening up about it and not fighting it anymore, not putting up a fight for it anymore. But the thing is, that doesn't reflect in number 3. Because for number 3, what's next? I mean, this could be a response, but regardless of this, number 3 has the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Swords in the upright. That adds up to a 10 of Swords. That's an ending, right? That's a devastation. So number 3, either finding out about something, seeing something, learning about something, are heartbroken over it. Obviously, are heartbroken over what they've read, are heartbroken over what they've seen, are heartbroken over what this is. Now, in some cases, this could be a healing, right? But this doesn't look like a healing. I mean, it could be an exhale where, I don't know if this is the group I was telling, but there's, this is the second time I'll be ever saying it in my life, since this first video was a huge coming out party for me with my journals and this idea. But I like to think that I have a mosquito living in my head and it just goes, but I don't speak mosquito, and it's trying to tell me something. It's trying to communicate something to me. I feel like number 3 has quite possibly found out, or will find out, or will see something. We'll see that someone might be trying to take something that doesn't belong to them, or they might try to do some shit. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna try to do. It's them trying to snoop. Okay, there's a bunch of people looking at files. Like, this is Snoopy energy, not Snoopy the dog, but like, Snoop looking at stuff. And this could be them sort of taking it to the bank, but here we have this person reading something, finding something out. So this could be maybe another third party, a second party to the third party of the first part, that lets them know some information, and that information gets to them and they find out something about it. They find out something about the situation, and there's a heartbreak there. Some type of maybe even confirmation. The 4 of Pentacles, but them not really wanting to let go. Yeah, so them looking at what they have, what they've maybe worked on, what they've worked for, but not really fully letting go. Okay, I'm gonna clarify your read as well. Whoa. Whereas you, on the other hand, are emotionally being guided to walk away and take steps away from how this connection is going. Okay, which I feel like you've sort of already been doing if the story has been resonating this whole time, leaving something behind to start something else. Okay, and that's nice. That's good. So that's leaving, you know, this sort of TikTok time bomb situation with this tower and entering into a dream state of journaling. Those journals right there, looking into what it is that you want for yourself, and with this pen that spirit is providing, and it's a red pen, red book. No, it doesn't have to be the journals that I have. It could be anything that you do. I realize there is a need for that, and I was like, I keep talking about journaling and I don't share enough about it because the audience doesn't want to hear it, but I'm still gonna make a journal. I'm still gonna make something that I can say, hey, and if you want a journal, use these books, because their intention is to be supportive in that way. They're not fat. And this is for you, the Ace of Cups. So I feel like this is that next moving into something new, a newer energy. Once you are open for it, okay. Once you have some room left, with that Eight of Cups, a ninth cup will come in for you. Okay. So this is intense. This is a lot. Water. I hope you're okay. I hope this is okay. I wish you everything. I really do. Keep your light on, honey, and good luck. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Let me know how this reading went, how it resonated. This is the longest reading I've done in a while, almost 2 hours. I wish you everything. Keep your light on. Good luck. And I'm sending you so many blessings. Bye.